move straight into the video that will be shared. I believe we can see the screen. Just a quick response if you can see the screen will be appreciated.
Yes. Yes.
Great.
Kurtos, just to check, it seems like we can't hear. We definitely see your screen, but we don't have the sound.
All right.
And also, we also have a writing aid for for editing. The cloud-based platform that helps you to that has also an AI on artificial intelligence or system that helps you to check on grammatical errors in the actually can also help you to able to check the better and advise you appropriate construction of sentences. We'll have a look at that later. Then you also got notes about your writing statements, then communication tools like Zoom and active time tracking to track your time and log on your time and to go. And then on the other side of Gmail, which we all know about, and you mentioned that Google has linked quite a number of them. And the Gmail helps us do like communication with others. Storing information and storing information on Google Drive and all that. For storing record, and we could also use some project management tools, team chat, and their workspace, our project management tools to manage teams. But for records, there's a company called NACK that helps you to create your own forms. Google Drive can also keep records, where you can keep your own, store your own forms, and you able to use it to do some kind of analytics to know what kind of data you have, what information is existing in these forms, and then you also use that application and gateways collecting data from people. So we have forms that coming from Google Forms or NAC. We have got tools for managing projects like Teamchat, Workspace, and then project management tools like GitHub. So quite a number of them exist. I'm going to take an example from one of one video. You can use that for us to see what we can do. Okay. So let's look at normally. Manually, yes, manually and with grammarly, you can find really good. No, perfect words that we can write in short, or explicit, or excellent, or good. As a matter of fact, I can learn the practice grammarly. Actually, install it, it's fine and you can embed it into your browser. So the browser is talking with the communication in the office space. I use it as my outreach. So as I work in my office space, I'm saying, I call the university and I get students into other countries to check the errors in mathematical errors in my video constructions on my YouTube and then help you to create and I'm able to communicate more effectively and using analysis. Manually, that's more in grammarly, you can find really good, no, perfect words that you can write in the shop, or explicit, or excellent, or as a matter of fact, it's like grammarly can, yeah, that's wrong. We can get rid of that. This, good. And this, how about this? Grammarly helps you be concise. If you tell, what makes someone feel like this? Grammarly can remind you. It would help if you soften your tongue. Because the better we all communicate, the better we can. I'll give you connect. Go to Grammarly.com and download it. What Grammarly does is it helps you to communication better. So that's one thing that I'll advise that anybody who is looking to see that you write a lot, you have to communicate and do such support or documents that are unbelievable that you will choose. Grammarly is a very good tool for you to create as easy to edit. I use it myself and I like it. You can use it on to a browser, can open your screen as a plugin into your Word document and then use it. Okay. And then let's look at another one from a project management perspective. This is called Notion. See what Notion can do.
We all create clarity and organization. We want a quiet space to come in. And we want all the information you need to be there when you need it. Notion gives you both. Whether you're working on your own or in Notion processes, Notion provides a single space to organize everything that matters. One space to capture your thoughts, manage your projects, or even run an entire company. Every team can have their own home base. Notion is a single home for all your need to knows and need to do's. Displayed any way you need to see them. Notion gives you a clean, open surface where you can think, write, and think. It's like nothing. It's that simple. Or add any other type of content you like. Images and videos. And much more. Design pages exactly the way you want them. And when you change your mind, you arrange them with simple drag and drop. Everything in Notion can be customized to grow and change with you. Create as many pages as you need. Pages focused on today. Pages body and hashtag mind. List pages within pages, within pages. So that everything has its place. And you have clear pathways to everything. Find anything with a few clicks. Whether it's section wiki, product roadmap, meeting notes, or personal plan. When you use Notion with your team, you share a workspace so that everyone has a clean place to everything. Collaborate on the same page at the same time. Or work asynchronously across time zones. And pick up right where your teammates in London or Seoul left off yesterday without missing anything. And goes far beyond documents. Create databases to manage streamlined projects, track deals, onboard new employees, publish to the web. Everything you see can be modified to save you and your team. In a world with too much information scattered across too many tools and competing notifications, Notion offers something different. Clear place to focus on the things that actually matter to you.
What you see here is that Notion tends to bring together all the data we think about data. Combination and different types of apps. And we look at it very carefully. Notion has listing, has calendar in it, they have notes, which you do and you can bring different content and then manage them together. And it also helps you to track. So you can also track and collaborate with other people who are working with in the team. The routine is something that I will advise that if you would like to look for simple clear management to like this, you can really consider that. Okay. Now, one thing I would just want to point out is that it's not as if in all these applications, some of them are free, some of them are relatively free, and you can try professionally, and other days you like to start paying for them. Others are commercial, you just give you license, so you have to choose the license. I would advise that always check whether they are completing apps which can do similar things as what you are looking for. So before you end up investing, read about the reviews and what can you do, especially wherever your contextual, your background. If you're in Africa and you are trying to adopt some of these applications, you have to also ask yourself that the context of your workplace and what you need to fit in, and how many people will be using. So you have to see that sometimes you really bring it. You have to be the evangelist for that particular app, or you the first person among your team members having the app, and you have to use it and try to really complete your others to use it. So finding help, you may have to go online to find help. Some of the apps are very much help on YouTube, so there are lots of to do step-by-step process. So Notion is an example of that. You can do find quite nice information and Google and not enough information on Google and on YouTube concerning how to use this application. So you also have to ask yourself, are you going to use it just like a mobile or both? Because all of these ones just can do quite the ones on mobile are quite different and sometimes it's the things for you to be able to look at making visualize items and then you put them together. It may be very limited. So you need sometimes quite a larger screen so you can actually enjoy the screen. Then maybe even on your computer or your laptop or desktop. So that one we have to consider that. So I go for a free subscription or a paid or any pay your office your computer or you want to think about. before you jump into looking at applications. But it's always good to try the applications and get to know which is them that you like. Now, if you, for example, I mentioned Notion, I mentioned Evernote, I mentioned Zoom, I mentioned Gmail. These are not the only applications that exist in the category. So sometimes you can actually find productivity apps or applications in Google or in YouTube, and you can find other reviews of other apps, including the one I mentioned, that you can look at be able to consider. So finally, using cloud applications matter. It helps you to synchronize the information across the world, so that whenever you need them, you can also have it at any time in the form of a thing connected to the internet, you can have access to information. And let's look at the next thing. We go around collaboration and team working application. So working in a single of time. The collaboration becomes very, very important because there's an idea that together everyone achieves more. When we come together, we can achieve more together. So what is interesting is that after in this pandemic era, or even the latter part of the pandemic era, we realize that there's been a need for more collaboration. What people said has changed. People have moved out from offices, the traditional offices, to different and more open space, and are working from home. So now it means that we need to find a way of collaboration to get work done. That brings a challenge that sometimes you have to build formal teams or informal teams and exchange information all across the globe and through information 24/7 during the work activities time. So some work activities that you can be done at the shorter time. Because now we are working from home, the timelines sometimes change and you have a lot of work to do. So there's a collaboration trend that sometimes the changing nature of work, the good professional work, which involves much more interaction, and the changing organization of the firm, being restructured to be much more open to allow groups and others to come in. So it's a bigger step. And that shift has also been inspired by innovation. When innovation is shaping culture, innovation is actually going ahead and recommending things that the next generation should consider coming. So we have a challenge here that we can't sit and say that we collaborate. And collaboration needs to look at different things of collaboration. So in unpacking them, we have collaboration can classify in terms of whether the support interaction are the same or different. So there's synchronous and asynchronous. The synchronous has to do with face-to-face interaction. So that tells you the kind of activity that you need. And then some of them may be an experienced state or some of them may be like connection through a remote technological system. So someone can do video conferencing connect with others, you need to have a kind of a virtual face-to-face meeting with that person. However, at certain times that we can't have synchronous meetings, you have to do synchronous meetings. So they have to actually record and place it online and make available to anyone. So in such scenarios, technology that enable us to be able to document and put information out there, and also to be able to package and make it available for somebody else to watch this and become what's necessary. For example, Zoom has a functionality that when you put on the video, it records you and the person delivering the information or all activity that is going on in that period of time. And later it can upload it to this server for let's download it and can actually make it available to others. So synchronous and asynchronous are quite a number of things that you come across in making these trends. Question is that what do you want to do? Do you want asynchronous communication with somebody or asynchronous communication in video collaboration with someone, or you want some face-to-face interaction via collaboration? These are choices that you have to make, and there are technologies to support that. Okay. Now, what's interesting is that you see that some of the apps that we mentioned collaboration are just the few apps that are supporting other fields are used in terms of how they are structured, how they are made, they are also cloud-based applications. So that's the secret about them. So Google app is for collaboration, but the same Google app is also a cloud-based application. So most of the cloud-based, I think I mean most of the by far most of the cloud-based application are mobile friendly, and they are also collaborative tools on their own. Okay. So there's Trello, that's it's a share board, an online share board, where people post information and then also exchange notes. And then you also have a Dropbox information area. There are what Slack, which connect, which connect to OneDrive, which is the Microsoft answer to the cloud storage guide that is going on. Microsoft has one, Dropbox has one, Google has one. Then there are platforms that are also used for declaring what you're willing to do and how you do what you're doing. And one is identity.com. Track where it can was done by the team members to log into it, know how much they can speak, of course. And it's sharing the project management activity. Then you've got other video conferencing tools like Sodo and Zoom. And then there's also the one that can help you to make notes at now. You realize, as I mentioned, there's not much difference between collaborative tools and then all the things I just mentioned right now. Now, the reason is because we are in an era of the cloud, and most of the applications are being built in the cloud perspective. So Dropbox has a cloud, it's a cloud-based storage platform. And there are quite a number of other ones that are there. But all of them, what they try to do is to these tools themselves, apart from doing collaboration, also mobile connection, they are app versions of them that can download on your phone. So don't be surprised that you are seeing some of these applications as cloud-based applications. I haven't seen them as collaborative applications. Collaborative applications focus more on team work and bringing teams together. Okay. Now let's go to as I look to about 15 minutes, then go to the internet for research. And that's going to be the lengthy of presentation I have to put across. Now, I define research as a systematic of organizing or finding answers to questions. By the simple and somewhat either thing that is an investigation to a particular question. In the more detailed definition, it's a systematic way of finding answers to questions. Why is it systematic? It's semantic and organized because sometimes research largely belongs to a particular academic discipline or knowledge discipline or scientific discipline. So whenever you're doing research, you have to know how research is done by that discipline so that you can need to follow the ethos or the principles of that scientific discipline. When you finish, you can see the accept the work as value research. Okay. So always keep in mind that whenever you're doing research, you have to think about the audience who is going to do the research. The audience can influence on how you do the research. Okay, so be able to look for information on the internet or use the internet for research. The first thing I need to think about is that you are a topic. You need to search for information. That's one of the topics you have. Or you can start with something and find and continue later. Then you also have to know how to identify and locate ensure relevance. The relevant issue that is relevant, that's more appropriate to you is to put them. And then you call them, you do a seminar, and then you write. So to be able to put something together and write that together, it should be based on tangibility, and which I mentioned at the end. Now, the type of topic can be influenced by either you yourself, your interest, what you're interested in, or your workplace, where your work is. You want to try to explore some phenomenon in your workplace, or your community. From the sponsor and clients, you can tell you want to do something like that, can you give a potential solution for it? And then sometimes strength and use can also be an important determiner of your topic. If you are somebody who's drawn to what is sensational, what is just too much, you end up thinking about choosing doing research around things that are more trendy and more current. But most importantly, irrespective of all the other ones I mentioned, the gaps in the literature or the gaps that exist is what matters more. Whenever anybody is trying to do a good research, that is when what that exists currently. What are the previous attempts of addressing this issue? What are the new questions that I could ask? So that time when you have these new questions, you could actually narrow them down and do that quality of programs and whatever it is to be able to learn more from them. So the choice of topic, your interest, the workplace, the community, the change, the sponsor, or client, and the need to put and the gaps that you are found in. Okay. How do you find information? You can find information from internet research, from business databases or statistical reports, like the minimum of the recent census which later will be asked to remain available on the consultant website for others to download. There are periodical government documents, there are policy reports include invented papers, books, exploring journals. All of this will be a key role in helping you to form the knowledge and understanding of it in your workplace or even in your research endeavors, if you are research or practitioner of research. One of these databases, let me give you an example. The online Excel sources can either be World Bank or, for example, if you're in Ghana, there's some Excel unit in Ghana, it's called Ghana Success Search. So you can get information from there. And then you can also draw on other global hubs that also have information by going to their website. Then you also have other specialist contributors or websites which can create information from academics. So MRE analysis and performance analysis, agile by academic solution. This store is a different data hosts quite a number of information. And the social science research center also holds quite a number of good knowledge about what we are trying. The good knowledge that can shape a person's thinking and person's research together. So whenever you want to do research, always ask where are you searching for information? Where is going to be what information is this out there? Why are you searching for information from? And there are also set images on Google Scholar or Scholar Google Scholar can help in finding out scholarly information, and then or Google itself or Bing and then YouTube. These are some of the terminal search images or information images that you can actually do. Then beyond that, there are also learning platforms that others develop. Some of them on YouTube. Others put their own digital website like Udemy, Coursera, Khan Academy, Cool Academy, EBS Guide, and Slash. And the objective is that when you can go to this platform and learn new skills, even new skills in either in programming and new skills in complementary to what you have been doing in a particular area. Really, new skills that may be relevant in daily activities. Because this learning platform has quite a number of information and they come in busy. It's very easy to pay to work several times. Okay. Now, how do you search for information? All the different search engines I told you have a command with a basic security and type and search information. But later we can also be able to use and advance the video and advance it button so that you can actually contain information. So, for example, let me just do a demonstration right now. Let's see how it looks like. So let's say that I'm doing a research on corporate governance and I want information. I could actually want to know more about corporate governance. I could actually go to Google Scholar. I was doing research on corporate governance. I don't think everybody can see, so let me just do it. So look at the information I'm getting, just give me the information and some other websites. But I think how it's going to differ when I start searching for that same information from Scholar.Google, and you see that the whole information changed. I have relevant information that I mean, you know what? I say your corporate governance and corporate governance and control. So in my advantage, I can actually limit that I don't only to test our operations to continue that time. And I can also analyze parameters to pull out the information I can do. But you see, because Google is a search engine, the actual thing you can find the information is actually listed on the side. You can see them where you can find the information. But it's a good starting point. If you look at the place of corporate governance and things come out, it's equal. And it's published in Journal of Corporate 29. And the impact of corporate governance on corporate tax avoidance. Corporate governance is authority. So that's you guys are quite a number of different aspects. You could actually use what you know or what could be of interest to you. So that's what helps us to use information. And once I'm talking to that information and you find again, like for example, you go to this and then you're able to download it. The most important thing is that try to go through the article before you download. So you can see the relevance of the article before you download. Because if you are trying to download all of them, you have to get to 300 different articles. Each of them are only about 50 pages. That would be a lot of work. So we try to be more, I think, reports more relevant to what we are doing. More relevant to what we are doing. So the article of the service corporate governance in China, as described in the Going Literature, published in Top Journal. All like the classical website agency in Western countries, the dominant agency in China is the horizontal agency between controlling and minority shareholders, arising from the constituted ownership structure. And that's one cannot tell about what is known about US, what is known about US in China. If you want to know kind of what in China. So I will read that part, give you an idea of what the president is doing in the paper. So after this book, what I can do is to say what we know in relationship and what is necessary. So going back to our let me go back to my so you call the retreat and you save them. You realize that when you're saving account, you save them with relevant needs. Like after you found quite a number of information, you can save them as topics or by sector. So sometimes I found something like corporate governance, especially in my country and in our country data. So the only thing I remember that this article in this video is from Ghana. It's on corporate governance and on this other submission. And then it's these are the sector that is covered so that I can speak up in my. Now, we also advise that you can also use other add-ons to be able to track your information. What you mean by recruit and like you SLE or corporate governance, which is another, all the information that you can try to put them around. Like I have a picture or a collage of what the different that can influence what you're trying to do or get to know more about our system. So if you have an idea that you have respect, some people can use some 5 key things. I remember somebody wanted to do understand why Ghana has someone to say. You know, that's like, wow, is that what you want to do? There's a lot to understand from Ghana concerning Ghana culture and why Ghana has someone to say. So there are interesting things that people have in their mind that they want to check on. But not everything that you check on. So you should also check out what you are going to do. First research on. So with the spider diagram, what you do is you can the title of what you are trying to do for like corporate governance is here. And then the first meaning you can actually say, okay, I want to categorize my share account according to country. So I have West Africa on one side, and I have North Africa on one side, and I've got maybe South Africa on one side, and I've got another maybe East Africa over here. And I'll try to see what I'll find any other example of literature in this area. It can go a very interesting for us. And then I can use to be able to and delve into more information. So finding the information is not as getting to having a topic in mind is important. Then you can use that one to do and set and you should try to get the information. Okay. That is quite a diagram. Now let's look at some of the this is a bigger picture. To put the main topic in the middle and add the keywords of the diagram. The key thing is to keep it. So I will put the keyword in another corporate government and I start adding other information that's maybe by year or by international connect and use it through as example of the literature. Why do we categorize literature? So that we can be able to easily read through and identify what matters to what is sitting concerning this thing. If I categorize my literature according to the countries, I can be able to tell which country has received more research than the other based on that and by the just the count. Okay. Now, collecting data, there are 2 ways that as a researcher can collect the data. In fact, there are more, but 2 of the dominant ones are things that we use Google Forms or we use Seven. And I tend to prefer Seven because it gives you an ability to do some analytics behind it. If I do this simply with the You know, they just want to use a new answer, maybe using Google Functional. But that's one use complex service, then you want to use a tool or that kind of instead of that complexity. Okay, so let's see how to use saving mode. But can we have quite a lot of things in
You can create one test image. It's not exactly your brand. And then you schedule continues with the improvements. You're ready to go. To start with, click Create Survey Detective page. You may find a bit of inspiration for exactly what you're looking for. Templates. Check out the most popular templates for search for some keywords. And click the template to learn more about it. If it's your needs, click Use this template. You can edit it later on. If the template's on your screen, you can make a copy of any stage you made before, or start with a blank canvas by clicking Start from Scratch. Give your survey a name and choose a category. If the question is already written elsewhere, check this box so you can post your questions in on the next page. Otherwise, create survey and finish up. Now you've created your survey, you can start to ask some questions. The question type is where place to start. These questions are written down for all of
So everyone he has a question behind them. Also,
the question.
some of them are wrong. I can also type and modify them.
Questions is your survey. In case you'd rather write your own question, choose the build tab and then find the questions written to use. You can just slide to the end of your survey or drag the question anywhere you like. All that's left is to fill out the questions. And you're done. Make sure to save. If you want to split your survey into multiple stages, you can add case breaking.
So this is why one interesting thing about it helps you to be able to have a flexibility of moving content up of different pages and then you get a very nice presentation of your service. Some surveys are done by the presentation is also because they're able to so 7 meters, you also have analytics, which is very good. Analytics about really looking at the relationship between some of the data. And then you need to tell our advice or what to that's so you may want to
So, you can create all of these images.
let's look at the ones I was mentioning earlier that things we can do in our analytics. So I just want to see everything.
When someone completes your survey, you can look at the results right there. It's a great idea to scroll through the summaries of each question to get a feel for how people did them. And easily customize charts or compare results from different groups looking at the trends and insights that may be clear face months. The first thing you'll see when you go to the analyze reports group is a summary of the results for each question. You can any questions like the multiple choice or show you a vision.
So now you can actually explore the foundation of it, and then you just need to draw the visualization yourself. You can make all the maps and the relationship story. And that's a very good opportunity to as compared to another map to do almost everything I have forgotten in terms of this code. So beyond so you can use this to tell you to collect data, but beyond data collection, and sometimes because of what happened in COVID, people didn't go out that much to collect data. And then what happened is when some jurisdictions like beyond Africa, that's a number of people doing all this because there was data online for them to buy and use of their use of their situation, which is very different from stories. So there are databases that in times there's a general computer and data conditions don't fit that. You can go the data and then just download that. You can use that. You can use that one to teach us the then there is also the data wide, which is also created a organic research data discovery using more cyclable and it's a community owned platform. We also have quite a number of data that has been put together that others can use to find out. And I think that it's unique to be a member of the have access to we have. Then we also have a picture selection selection and flower research. According to their own citations, they say that they get more citations from all the outputs of their language. About 5,000 citations of picture selection and research content in quite a lot of good information here. And it's not the data is international access data financial access so the other one that I also advise to the is from Google that helps you to get the data science data and see what you're going to use data science. You're going to Google the world data science community with science community with the powerful people to help you achieve your data science. So what our advice is that some of you data may be out of the text about about sign up for that. So we go for a pledge to sign up for that. So that we and then you can also motivate our parents to get their data based on something like that. So that others can use across the world. And then mentor the students using open data for their own knowledge. And train faculty as well as using research methods, which may also include social media where we need it. So, in fact, what I wanted to present to you, I wanted to just talk about your different applications. I thought about, firstly, I thought about application that can use the workspace from the cloud perspective and the mobile perspective. And that way we could have ability to which predominantly most of them are TVs, working tools. Which I should know that we wanted research where we try to understand how to have our science and how to be able to search for information and the administration of information, and then how to be able to not just not just search for data and search for information, but also be able to use other forms of data that you can collect through Google accounts or using it SurveyMonkey, and then you can further analyze to tell the story. So what I would say is that as of now, I would like everybody to think about what to do like in your view, how can you use your how can the office are going to use this internet app I mentioned and kind of space I mentioned. And then talk about 5 abstract things that you need or you can talk about. I'll like to have this about thank you, Jen. Look forward to it.
So we are back to our session here, and fortunately we have Professor Boateng joining us. Prof, if you are there, you may want to unmute and then continue from the questions. Unfortunately, we didn't have a big number for this meeting, so I believe we wouldn't need to do our breakout rooms as we have initially planned. Just a few people and we can just take it from there.
Okay, I think so if they have any questions I can answer or
Hello, Prof, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yeah, I'm saying that if you have any questions I can answer. I don't know whether they were able to hear clearly, but I think you gave them the video link, so they were watching it. They could have been watching on their own too. So basically, we are giving you an overview of 3 categories of software or application that may be helpful. So if you have any questions, I'm here to give any feedback or any response to that. Or if you have any experiences to share, I know sometimes I may also learn from you. If you have any experiences to share, I'm willing to listen.
So my question, which would be to the entire room, would be, which of these applications were new to you, or did you take note of, depending on the functions that it's to play? If we're here, we may want to unmute and then just share. We have Charity, we have Karina, and then we have Ahmed. Ahmed, are you there?
Yeah, sure. I'm listening.
So from the different applications that were discussed, did you have any that interest you that you had not used before?
Yeah. Do think that I used before, how I collect open data or use as researchers, because I start my research as PhD in optic and image processing, and I use some tools that I'm seeing in that Mr. Professor Richard will share with me and with friends. As I use research engine with Google Scholar, but the thing that I can't understood it, or I have a weakness for that. When we collect data online by many tools that you show for us, do you think how can convert data in categories data as what can I say, like a gender, like age, geography, location, and all this kind data. How can extract it from online statistic? I hope that the question clear or no?
Did you get the question? You're muted, Prof.
Yeah, I got a question. When you are using online data, it's not easy to get, because you didn't collect it yourself. You are at the mercy of the person who collected it. So it's not all online data that has some of the fields he mentioned, like geographic location and all the other dimensions that he mentioned. So it's that's the difficulty. If you want such information, you may have to collect it yourself. But if you are collecting, if you are using somebody's data, you are just at the mercy of what the person has collected. But if you are collecting your own data, the challenge that you sometimes have is that if you want to use SurveyMonkey to collect data from Ghana, there is a function in it for you to restrict it to pick in from only IP addresses or geographic locations that are specific on Ghana. So you can define the IP address that you should look at. So if you know the range of IPs that work from Ghana, you can put, so that if a person is connecting from a different country, it might not allow the person to fill the questionnaire, so that you can restrict the geographic location. Now, it doesn't always work. So what others also do is that instead of them doing a random blast for people to respond to the questionnaire, they may target it to a group. For example, you are targeting people from a particular university. So let's say University of Dar es Salaam, and all of them have a specific type of email address. So you're going to allow only those email addresses to register on the survey, so that you can restrict it to those geographic location and pick this type of information. So some of the tools like SurveyMonkey can give you those restrictions, so that you can actually control bias coming from different people who are not supposed to be answering the questions. But if somebody has collected it already, then you are just at the mercy of what he has collected. If that will help with the. But what he's saying is true. It's very difficult to get some of the information from online, online collection methods.
Yeah. And just to add to that, sometimes because of that difficulty, some of these applications or organizations that collect some of these data that we need, some of them apply open source, arrangements for the work they do. So if that is the case for the organization that you're interested in, for instance, you may want to reach out to them and see how you could collaborate in terms of adding that field that you have specific interest in, especially if their work is of interest to you in terms of the data, especially when they are going to put the data out. Then you may want to reach out to them and share this concern. They may give it a thought and then include those because the data from that perspective, then it means the data is not to be used only by them, but for the wider public. And so they may want to include a field. And there are many applications these days too that help to gather GIS data. So if you reach out to them, they may want to include those fields in the forms that they put out. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you. Any other question? We have Charity. We've been planning to do some data collection work. If there are some concerns, you can bring them on also. I believe we have been using Google Forms, for instance, for our work. Did you have some concerns you'd want to open up on?
Okay, thank you so much, Kashif. Okay, I really struggled to hear, but yeah, like from the stuff that I saw, yeah, I realized that we've been using the Google Forms, and also in terms of the applications we use, like at work, with your Microsoft, this Microsoft Teams, and also OneDrive, like sharing documents and working online. So maybe he can just summarize some of the stuff, because I really struggled to hear most of the like the video. The sound was a bit distorted from my side. And yeah, Dr. Karina said she had to leave. Okay, she's still locked on, but she had to leave. So she said we should apologize on her behalf.
No, that's okay. So Prof, you may want to touch a bit on the apps that Charity is requesting on, since her audio was not very favorable to her.
Okay, Charity, please. Catch Up is going to make the video available. It's clearer on watching the video direct. I think replay on many of these online platforms, online video conferencing platforms are not very clear. So the link will be made available to you. I think Catch Up. I hope you're going to do that. Yeah.
Yes, certainly.
That one you can actually watch it in clarity.
To our YouTube page, and so we're going to share the link, and then everyone can have access to afterwards.
But to just summarize, I was just trying to categorize the different types of application. You have got storage. When you take an office environment, we do different things in the office. So we keep records, and some storage applications can do that. For example, your OneDrive, your Google Drive, your Dropbox can help you, and there are other ones that can keep records called NAC. I've used NAC before. I didn't write it there, but NAC is NACK. It's a very good platform for putting records together, and it can help you create any form so that you can actually collect data, and then even application forms can be created on that platform. Very, very easy. And then we also have other ones that can be also used for project management. I mentioned quite a number of them there. And then I also did a video of those which can help you do your writing. That's Grammarly. That can help you edit your documents, which have, and not only just edit your document, edit your emails too. Yeah. A number of the applications are becoming quite easier to use, and also relatively free. Means that you have a freemium package. That means that you use it for some time before you pay, or you can use a limited version for unlimited time. So that means that you have a limited version for on unlimited time, that you can do certain features which may be basic, but it could actually help you with your work. So when we send you the slides later, and when we add the video, our advice is take a time and go to the different applications and start seeing which of them will be exploring, which of them will be relevant to you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
But there are restrictions with there are restrictions with Google Forms. Google Forms doesn't give you flexibility in terms of sometimes doing nesting of questions, where you can link questions together and creating a lot of conditions. For example, when you have a condition that if you answer yes here, you should jump and skip to this one. Sometimes Google Forms has got some limitations on how many of them you can do. But when you take some platforms like SurveyMonkey, you can do so many of them, and it can also do the analysis for you as you're actually entering the data. And the analytics is quite more powerful than that of Google Forms. I use Google Forms very simple. If I just want to collect people's email addresses for registration, or addresses for registration purposes, or to just create a database of people attending a workshop, I can use that Google Forms. But when I want to actually carry out a survey to understand relationships towards a product, towards a service, and then to be able to know whether a particular age group respond better, and then why do they respond better? So a complexity of factors are being measured here. I try to draw on SurveyMonkey for that.
Yeah, that is.
But there's also another one called Qualtrics, which I didn't mention. It's also very good. But all of them has a higher access fee. So I just wanted to make the ones which are quite easier and cheaper and more readily accessible to you.
Great. That's very much appreciated. I share the concern with Google Docs as well. So I have my own applications that I as well deploy for some of those. Okay, I see Charity and Ahmed, your hands up again. So Charity, I saw yours come first. You may want to unmute and then speak.
Yes, I just wanted to say, like, in terms of Google Forms, I think we also had that challenge where we're trying to create a Google form to collect information for an open access database for our website. So we had questions that when someone answers yes, they should give us more information. But then we realized that like the Google form is becoming longer because we couldn't put the questions together, as you're saying that at times it doesn't allow you to do complex stuff. Like if you're not going to answer this one, you can skip on to the next. So we didn't know how to do it. So we were still struggling with that and trying to come up with a better way of doing it. But let's hope we'll actually win with that, because we're still trying to figure out, because what we realized was isn't that time conscious. You try to put the activities together, like training, then non-training, but you see that some of the people do more than one of the non-training. So maybe we're not gonna get the information that we need. So yeah, so that's something that's quite interesting to know, that it's actually a restriction of Google Forms. So maybe we need to find another way of doing it, because we realized that at first the form is now becoming too long, and it's not everyone who's going to be answering each and every question. But we were trying to group the questions, but we couldn't try and find a way of putting it together, or a way of saying, okay, skip this one and go to the next, because of that restriction on Google Forms. So thank you so much for that. Oh, I'm feeling so relieved right now.
Yeah. So the concern with Google Forms, certainly, because it's free, it is very limited in terms of application of logics. These other apps have higher level logics that we can deploy for these work. So certainly going forward, we may have to look for something that works better for us. So Ahmed, I see your hand up as well. You may want to unmute.
Yeah, thank you. I want to have a reflection with this topic that you share with us. First of all, we start by YouTube content that you share with us. as information. I want reflect with that content. If can as a thinking, I hope that I share my the thinking that in my head that I wish to share it with you about when we have a YouTube channel, we have number of viewers, we have who like the video, dislikes, and following, and comments. For Professor, I ask Professor, is there an application which can categorize comments in one YouTube content? For example, we have a video about Google Docs. Explain how we use it, how we can benefit for that tool. And we see down many comments, some with hate speech, some good, some give many comments. For me, are there any application which can categorize comments in YouTube?
Prof,
I hope that
are you
question
there?
is
Did you get a
clear.
question?
Or
Yeah, I got
because
I got a question.
sorry for my English, because I'm
No,
francophone. You have to.
no.
Thank
There are
you.
this is a difficult question because I run a number of pages myself. There are two ways that you can do it. The easier one is what I know. The more difficult one, you need to use Python to write a code to a script to be able to script information from the page. That is the more difficult one. Now, you have to know some programming to be able to write a script to pull the information. But the easiest one is to use Google itself, the analytics page of Google, of YouTube. So that channel, when you go into your channel analytics page, there is a place for comments, and you can sort the comments out. You can sort them by those you have responded to. You can search within that the comments. So if there's any basic classification you can do it within the comments page of your YouTube, the comments interface of your YouTube page. You have, if you own the page yourself, you have access to that part. Then you can be able to do some categorization from there. That's what I know, because that's what I've been doing. I'm able to sort out those which I've responded to, those who have not responded to. Then there are actually other applications. There's one called TubeBuddy, and there's one called VIDQ. Now, these are all applications that helps you to be able to manage information, manage your page. Those applications, you have to pay to access them. The higher forms of a subscription, sometimes going to about $60 a month, can let you to be able to do more analytics within the comments and within your whole page. So apart from the YouTube page, there are other software. TubeBuddy is one. I use TubeBuddy, and I've used VIDQ before. But they are all applications that can help you to be able to harness the intelligence in your page. And it can tell you what are people responding to, what are people not responding, what keywords tend to matter on your page, what keywords is driving traffic to your page. If you should use those ones, it can give you more power over the page to be able to manage the contents very well. So I mentioned that I can send the links to those applications to catch up later so that I can share it with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Certainly, that will be appreciated in our follow-up emails that we'll be sending to everyone. Okay, is there any other question at this point?
But Ketchup, these are very good questions. I wonder if you can capture the questions so that in future we could, when I'm doing a seminar like that, I could actually respond to those as part of the video. They are very good questions. I like them. I like them.
Those will be captured. Thank you, Prof. Any other concern? Any other question about the apps? In the absence of those, since it's a smaller number, I think we've done very well, reaching about 15 minutes to the top of the hour, which was our target. And so at this point, if there is no questions coming up, then I may want to wrap up and then close for today. So we have our final session. The Celebration Africa Evidence Week continues tomorrow, and we have our final webinar session on Friday. We have quite a number of people who have subscribed to that. And in that session, we will be looking at how to export or kind of extend evidence support services across borders. So this is aimed at organizations that operate within a single locality, as in a single country, and you're aiming to export to other countries. What are some of the things you should look out for? So it's kind of an international management the conversation that we'll be having at what are the options to look at, what are the things, the environmental concerns, the legal, the politics, and all that we should look out for. On that note, we throw the invitation to us here and those outside to join us if we are available. On that note as well, I will want to thank everyone who made the time to join this conversation, especially to Professor Richard Boateng, who took the time off to prepare the video and join us in this follow-up conversation, as well as other colleagues who made the time here. Thank you all. Prof, you wanted to say something briefly before we close this session?
I'm so happy to be part of it. Maybe next time I'll be much more involved, but it's been very interesting to meet people from across the continent. I don't know which countries are represented here, but I've been to South Africa, Tanzania, Rwanda, Uganda. So
I was hoping that we had a wider audience from the different countries and kind of understand what people do from the different ones, but at least we have Charity from South Africa and Ahmed from Morocco joining us.
Okay, I've been to South Africa, but I've not been to Morocco. Okay. So hopefully maybe one day I'll be to Morocco.
Certainly, Ahmed will be a gateway.
Warm welcome. Anytime. Warm welcome.
Okay. Enjoy the rest of the day, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.